And of course, we're recording. Now we can't say anything, Bridget. We got to be careful.
Oh, good.
Kidding. Oh, anyway, we're it's this is the week of this is our team call on the 8th of December with the Durgan Felix Ellison agency, but this is basically from what is it, the 29th through the 5th, the first week of December. Oh boy. I got to get my reading glasses on. We need to brighten that up a little bit. Here we go. The Felix for the week for the this is the first week in December. The Felix had 11 apps for 25,924 in APV, and the Durgan Ellison team had 17 applications for 19,285 APV. And those are the monthly stats. I won't reread those. That's just the first week of the month. So um, look at this. These are people that have gone out and helped protect some families. John Mayuro with one app for 561 APV. Rebecca with one app for 630. Uh, Two Rebeccas. Rebecca S with one app for 840. Um, Emily with one app for 1235. New writer. Love that. Gina with one app for 1239 APV. New writer. Love that. Miss Ibblewood with two applications for 1590. That's awesome. Lakeisha, two applications for 2213. Miss Paige Durgan with three applications for 2545 while on a trip, which is just really incredible. It just shows you can do this anywhere you want at any time you want. Margaret with two applications for 2995 APV. Brando, two applications for 7,012 APV. Myself with seven applications for 7907 APV. Rafa with five applications for 7990. And James Burge, look at that, leading the top of the leaderboard with two applications for 8447. That is awesome stuff. Thank you. Thank you all for going out and protecting families. So, all right, next one.
This is about building your team, building a business, building a legacy. So conversations had been, doesn't mean if you had a formal recruiting platform, it's, hey, who did you share the opportunity with? Who did you even talk to about what you're doing to see if maybe they know somebody that's looking for something new, part-time or full-time. So for last week, Paige had one, James and myself had two. Tracy, nice job, Tracy had three, and Tommy Boy had five. And guys, this is where it starts. This is how when you hear me talk about on the production side, nothing happens without the phone. Well, nothing happens about building a business if you are a secret agent and don't let people know, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. And you can do that in a variety of ways, from joining a recruiting co-op or just posting on your social media. Just helped a family, XYZ. You can copy leaderboards from our agencies, the Miller Master, whatever that is, that's called attraction marketing. So you have to start here. And this is where you're laying the foundation for a business that can pay you over and over.
Awesome. Awesome. And here we go. Two new writers for December. We got Gina, direct to Miss Bridget. That's awesome. Emily was on the leaderboard with the new application, direct to James Burge. New writers, this is awesome. This is where the stuff happens. This is where you start making an impact. And if you can do it once, you can do it 1,000 times. I promise.
Exactly right, Tommy. And on one note on that new writer slide, again, these are two people that just keep swinging, just keep coming at it. What's next? What do I do? The one, Emily's first application was a no show, I think twice, and she didn't give up. She kept reaching out. Real nice guy, had some significant health challenges, and we were able to help him with something. So again, goes back to, is keep in focus what we actually do, and that is help people, help protect their families. This particular gentleman was not, he was 66, had his son and three grandkids living with him. So when I asked him why was he looking into this, because Emily and I were on the call together, he's like, "Well, I can't. What if something happens to me? I can't afford to have anything change for specifically his grandkids, right? So just remember what exactly we do and how important it is, because that'll that can be what gets you through when maybe you have somebody that's rude to you, or you have three no shows, or maybe you sit with five people and don't help anybody because you're new. So again, just remember what it is we do is incredibly important, and that should build your belief day over day. Um, Zoom room, the one call we have is right in this, just the main Zoom room, and that's the call tomorrow at 10 Eastern. But you come in here, this is the first step. On the bottom, you're going to click the breakout room, go to that. Being plugged in is the best thing you can do for yourself and your business, especially when you're struggling. Tommy, over to you.
I go in the break room, I go in the workroom even when I'm not struggling, Bridget, because it's fun, the community, the people, you can always learn something if you're looking for it. So what I wanted to talk about today, and thank you for sharing those leaderboards. That's awesome. I want to talk about some successful ways to maneuver through December. Okay. And I think it really truly stands on three pillars: activity, schedule, and one that I don't think we really give enough life to, which is holiday focus and productivity. And I think they all three tie together. It's that plus activity plus your schedule plus the holiday focus, or the minus of a holiday focus is going to create your month. And it can be a positive, it can be a negative, however you determine it. I read something kind of cool that I want to share here. We do a lot with social media posting, right? And we talk about algorithms, right, Bridge? We talk about how that, what kind of feeds into that. Think about this. You have an algorithm yourself internally, and it mirrors, we can often feel like this algorithm, if you want to label it that, controls us. But the truth is it mirrors the parts of ourselves we're not paying attention to. It learns from our weaknesses. It's also shaped by our choices. And when we understand how it feels, we realize that we're just not stuck. We can interrupt those patterns and choose what we want to amplify, choose where we want to succeed, choose where we want to be productive. You know, and currently your algorithm may predict your behavior, but it doesn't get to define our future. We do. And I thought that was really, really profound because I've never tied self-belief um schedule or work ethic to an algorithm, but it really, if you think about it, it really is. But think about this. I'm gonna share my screen for just a second, and this is I'm so grateful we have Katie and Crystal that can make really beautiful things work. And this is pretty rudimentary, Bridget, but I think it works. Give me just one second. I gotta get this thing pulled up. Here we go. All right. Can you see the colors, Bridget? Are you good?
Yep,
You good
gotcha.
there? All right.
Yep.
So I was reverse engineering the month. I like to do that. That's kind of how I set my schedule. That's how I do this stuff. This is more of the macro schedule. Your micro schedule comes down to what you do each day. We can talk a little bit about that too, but think about this. The week one of symmetry, that's grayed out. Those days are already gone. Okay, we're into week two right now, then week three and week four. And we all know what's happening on week four of the symmetry month, which is the last month of the year. And we all know the 24th and 25th are there. No secret there. It's there every year. We plan on it every year. It's same days. So I was thinking about this. There's 24 days left in December, 19 left in the symmetry month. And if you, I mean, I don't, I don't know about you, but if you work weekends or not, if we take out the weekends, that's 18 days left in the month and 13 days in the symmetry month. Now, I will, for me, I take Saturday and Sunday and combine them as one productive day. So really, truly, there's 15 solid days left in the month, right? Um, and I colored these green, yellow, and red for a reason. Blue is just the last day of the month, just as a mental reminder. But green days I like to figure out these are days that I have no interruptions. I have a full schedule. I have everything going forward that I need. Production wise, recruiting, all that. Clear slate. Yellow days are the days that, there's stuff with kids, there's events, there's things going on, not quite a full day. And this is what's haunted me in the past because the kids have gotten out of school and it's been a free for all, meaning my schedule blows up and the whole thing. So now I'm looking at it, preparing for it, understanding that this week is a huge week to really, really work. The next actually 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 days are really hardcore work days because I know on the 19th when the kids are home and they wake up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the whole rest of the day is going to be uh, who knows what could happen. Um, and then you have the 22nd and 23rd before the 24th, 25th. I'll leave those 2 days off because that's hard to work on those 2 days. It just is. The 26th is the very last day of the month. So, you may have to book some appointments that day to figure it out. But here's the cool thing, and we talk about this a lot. You have the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st to get business issued in the symmetry month of December. The carriers AMM, which basically, if you put a policy in for AMM on the 23rd or 24th or 25th, it should get issued by the 26th if it's an instant issue. They do not run any deposits or payments after the 28th. So just letting you know, just being aware. Americo, yes, you can always do Americo. Move, probably, I would say 50-50 there because they have 1 through 28 and the last day of the month. So you can probably get some late issued on the last day of the month. SBLI for sure, Corebridge for sure, UHL's 50-50, and then you have Transamerica with their FE Express, which is usually instant issue, and the new IUL that's instant issue that you can stretch out that month of of December, right? So think about this. I'm not going to lose any of my days that are green. I'm not. I refuse. I refuse to lose those days. Now, on the days that are yellow, can I turn those into green days? Yes, I sure can. It just takes a little bit of discipline. It takes a little bit of communication with the family and all that. And then, Sundays, if if anything, I'm working in the afternoon. But that's why I usually count Saturday and Sunday as one full day. You can make that 1.5 days if you're disciplined in it. Great time to call people. And I don't know about you, Bridge, when you worked for somebody in a job, you look at a 2 day holiday in the middle of the week and you're licking your chops. You're like, hey, I can take I can take 4 days off. So I can take the 20th, 22nd, 23rd, and 27th off, or 26th off, and I get like 12 days vacation for technically 3 or 4 days of time off, right? And there's going to be a lot of people home in that fourth week. It just depends on how you manage it, right? How are you setting up your appointments? Your activity matters most this month because families still need the coverage. Leads are still active. Um, momentum is easier to gain because Everybody else in this industry is being quiet. They are taking the month off. Don't don't do it. The everything's out there. The competition goes down. There's not as many people that care about helping people as you do. So there, the competition is a little less. In my mind. What does your schedule look like? The discipline schedule is your advantage. That's why I kind of broke it down this way. You know, for me, usually in the morning, it's appointment setting, prospecting, that kind of thing, and then running appointments from 11 to 7, right? Um, Friday, it's a fantastic time to dial in the morning on Fridays and run some appointments in the afternoon. And a lot of times with Fridays, who knows, family stuff comes up, but Saturday, same thing, 8 to 11, dialing, setting appointments. And Sunday for me, generally that's a planning and reset day. Just resetting my mind, resetting the energy, um, getting my week. I think it's even more important to do a little work on Sunday in December because the time is so precious in in the production month, the rest of the month here. Um, and I'll say this, the holidays, and I say holidays because it is 24th, 25th, and you do have the 31st or 1st as a holiday as well. But in 8 days, you have 3 days of holidays. So it is a holidays on this. Um, you know, it can either push you forward or it can pull you off track. Most agents slow down, stop dialing, or push appointments to after the holidays, right? Um, Lean into those rebuttals, get those appointments booked. You can lose momentum for January if you're pushing things off, right? But the top producers, the best ones, the ones that are showing up on these leaderboards, the ones that you saw that were helping families, they're protecting their schedule, they're setting the expectations early, they're staying consistent, and they're taking intentional time off after completing their weekly commitments to themselves, right? And I'll say that I'll get to you in a sec, Bridge, but I'll say this, right? It starts with planning, how to stay productive in the holidays. Plan those non-negotiables, right? Set your holiday events, your travel time, your family time first. Build your schedule around it. The reverse engineering is why I looked into this way. It just keeps you guilt free and it allows you to stay laser focused during those work hours. You know, Shorten the window, increase the intensity too, right? So maybe you do have a few hours. You can still run the same amount of activity if you're intentional about it. If you have that higher focus, your higher focus equals higher results, right? Communicate with the clients. Use the quote, hey, while we're heading into the holidays, Bridget, this is only going to take about 15-20 minutes to make sure your family's protected, right? I know we're all busy. I understand it. I'm busier than a one-legged duck swimming in a pond. But it's it's just ugh, keep your foot on the gas. I'll say this. Momentum lost in December is paid for by you in January. Momentum built in December is earned in January. You get to choose which version of January you want right now. And hey, you know what? If you hit your December goals, celebrate and enjoy the family. Do that. That's what this business is for. Just keep the massive momentum going into the new year and and start that new year strong because 90% of the people that we know won't be. You'll be so far ahead. If you focus on the activity, the schedule, and the holiday focus. Bridge, what do you got?
Yeah, this is so good, Tommy. Just again, going back to the basics, the fundamentals. So you talked about reverse engineering. You also hear it say, begin with the end in mind, right? So if you think of, I want to make a cake. So that's the end in mind. Well, what does it take to get there? You need the recipe, you need the cup of sugar, the teaspoon of salt, whatever that is. And it just makes your day. So most everything in life is the setup. right? Building that foundation. And what Tom's talking about is having the days that you know are the green days. It just makes it kind of frees up your mind in terms of this is what I'm doing. Now, if you're brand new, that end in mind will be different for somebody that is a top producer. Maybe if you're brand new, the end in mind is making 500 dials. So that's the end game. That's the reverse engineer. That's the what. Then you can get with your mentor and say, okay, if I'm going to make 500 dials, how many leads do I need? How many hours can I expect to dial? Because, guys, in the very beginning here, everything that Symmetry has to offer, the time freedom, the money, it's all real. That's the very thing you need to pour more of in the beginning to get out the other side. And sometimes people don't internalize that really. So when you're in it, you're just in it. And then it starts to, kind of make sense. But you do have to have your end in mind. The other thing is, think about it, you guys. Our world is nowhere near what it used to be with the holidays. People having to fight crowds in the malls and go in for the special sale. Almost everything is online. People, in terms of their time investment shopping and the stress, way different now. Way, way, way different. And so, to your point, Tommy, that is so well taken. Think about how we are, right? So we have our holidays. Some people have, family coming in to visit. They head out maybe the 27th. Now we're kind of, okay, we're maybe breaking down the holiday stuff, whatever that is. A 15-minute phone call, right? To check something super important off your list. And the other point about the carriers, guys, I don't know if they put on extra staff this time of year, but they're looking to close out the year nice and neat. Approvals do tend to be quicker. That's just what we've seen over the past 8, 9 years, right?
They have bonuses to make too.
Yeah. And so what might take an application 3, 4, 5 days to get approved, maybe we're getting it done in 24 to 30. They're looking to, yeah, close out their books, button it up, assign their bonuses. So again, it ain't over till it's over. I
They're
mean,
they're on that same level of urgency that we are. They have about this. They probably have less days to work because a lot of their companies will close.
mhm.
Um, so, I can't. I can imagine. I can think about. I would think there might be some that shut down early on the 23rd and don't open back up till the 29th.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
just be aware of that. Watch that. We'll post that in the Teams chat. We'll post um, you know, closings from carriers and things like that. So you do have that to deal with. But anyway, I just
Americo's site is
we
always
hear
going. Americo's e-app is always running, and they'll tell
I
you that.
know.
They're like, look, still put your business in and still keep it rolling. But this is a very good topic, for the next few weeks
You know, I've
because it's in our head.
I'd always heard, hey, it's a holiday, not a holiday week. It's this, it's that. And I was like, I'm gonna break this down because, I've let my Decembers fall to the family side,
Oh,
not the
we've all done
production
it.
side.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm like, huh, okay. So if we break this down and we figure it out, when the math is mathing, where we've really truly got 15 production days left in this month. So, and it's shame on you if Christmas Eve and Christmas sneak up on you. Been on the calendar since it's been on the calendar all year. But
That's so funny. It happens every year.
happens every
Yeah.
year.
Hmm.
That's one of my dad jokes when we're taking, payments on an e-app is okay, how many days of the month have or how many months of the year have 28 days in them, Bridget?
All of them.
All of them. And they go, "What? February. I was going to say February." No, they all have 1 through 28. That's why they set those up. So it's just funny. Um, I hope this helped. I hope this gives you a little bit of urgency going into this month. And jump on the calls, jump on the Wayland call, jump on the national calls this week, jump on the deep dive with the sales expert. In fact, I was on that on Thursday. It's Thursday at 11 o'clock Eastern. If you're on HQ, just go to calls and webinars. It'll show up there. Roddy and Jason Ditson and Mike Minch are doing a full-blown 5-part series on engaging leads. And it's really cool. I mean, I've been on a million of those calls and I still learn something. It's just they're doing such a great job with it that if you want to push your production forward, that Thursday call at 11 is a can't miss because you will learn something no matter what level you're at. And it is geared, they do gear it towards more of beginning agents, but man, as an experienced or veteran agent, you can really pull something out of there. There's no doubt.
Yep.
So,
Every time it could be something small, even that you've reminded to do if you're a veteran agent. So that's a really good shout out, Tommy.
yeah. And, figure out the key to this schedule is figure out what the macro looks like, figure out, where the go hard days are, and then each night the day before, list that schedule out 24 hours so you know exactly what you're doing. That is a conversation I'll have with my kids when they're home. Okay, what do you have to get to? Where do we have to go? What are the things that we have to do? And I will schedule my day around that as well because that's the beauty of this business. We can do that. So, yeah, if you go macro and then micro, you shouldn't have any issues with your schedule. And just with 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 Christmas Eve and Christmas Day coming in the middle of the week, it can come up as a surprise. It really, really can. So personally, I like it when it's on Saturday, Sunday, but because it doesn't affect the business very much. But it is what it is, right? So with all that, everybody go have an amazing day. Have your best day, whatever that takes. Change your internal algorithm into something very productive for yourself, whatever that may be. So with that, and Bridget, anything else? You good?
No, great call,
All right,
Tommy. And remember, just
perfect.
reach out, guys, if you need help, any questions, any clarity, that's what we're here for. You're not bothering us. So please reach out. Thank you,
Oh,
guys.
you tell me I bother you all the time.
Good
Well,
stuff,
that's
guys.
you.
Thank you
But
very
anyway,
much.
bye,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Have a great day.
See ya.